What happened to mathematically correct Sett? For the summer of 2021, mathematically correct Sett was the rage on the Rift. And I used the word rage because it was both trendy and infuriating. Essentially, the build was built to make Sett's W do as much damage as possible, and it definitely met that goal. Today, we're going to be covering this one-shotting build, how it led to a summer of math on the Rift, and why we never hear about mathematically correct builds anymore. So without further ado, let's dive into it. On May 11th, 2021, popular YouTuber Ross Boomsocks posted a YouTube video simply titled Mathematically Correct Sett, a build sent to him by YouTuber Deep League. And while Ross Boomsocks is known for his fun, interesting builds on champions, this video seemed to gain a lot of interest compared to the others. Now the question becomes, why is this video so much more interesting? I mean, after all, off-meta builds aren't new to this channel or new to League content in general. Upon its release, Sett's W is seen as just an extension of the newly coined 200 years meme. Back when we thought that joke was going to be a passing phase. YouTube, Reddit, Twitch, and even your local Subway were all plastered with Sett's W hitting for massive true damage. And so, like every other ability that does big true damage, it was one that people naturally remembered. And not only was this new build doing more damage than the W had ever been before, it was also pretty decently viable. And here's the real kicker. After a year of mainly non-stop nerfs, Sett's W and R were both buffed right before the video released. And while I could show you all the math in the video and how everything works, I think I'll just show you what I would like to call a perfect storm. Sett was back. His play rate shot up, his ban rate shot up, his Ws were hitting for over 3,000 true damage, mathematically correct builds were showing up all over YouTube, and then nothing. There weren't really any big enough nerfs to take this build out of viability, unless you're counting Gore Drinker, but even then, they buffed it shortly after. So what happened? If we want to take a look at gameplay, I guess you could say that people realized that once you use your W, you really didn't have too much left in your kit until your W was back up, even though I guess technically you did have Shield Bash as well. But Sett can still do big amounts of true damage with pretty much most of his build paths nowadays, so why don't we see this mathematically correct Sett build anymore? The biggest reason I could find was all the hype ran out. I mean, let's just take a quick look at the pick rates and ban rates again. Right after the build got popular, it spiked up, but then it slowly began to decline over time as the build became less and less trendy in League. And to say YouTubers milk this mathematically correct content dry is kind of an understatement. But the good news is, that's not really where our story ends. While we may not still be using the exact same build as we used for this mathematically correct Sett trend, Sett's always going to have some sort of build that allows this W to do big true damage, whether it's clickbaited or not. What I feel like a lot of people fail to understand is that mathematically correct Sett, yeah sure, it was a build that was popularized, but it kind of became a term almost. In short, the mathematically correct Sett term is no longer really used, but he can still always do big true damage on his abilities should he build the right items for the current time. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how much you nerf us, nerf our items, our W is always going to pack a punch. Now before you click off this video, I have something really important I want to say, so don't click off quite yet. It's very important that you subscribe to the channel because it is free. It allows you to know right when we upload banger content, and you can always unsub if you don't enjoy the content anymore. And if you want to connect with me outside of just YouTube videos and in the comments section, which definitely voice your opinions down below, you can always check me out on Twitch. I am live 4 days a week regularly, and if I'm not, I'll be sure to change my schedule, that way it matches. And lastly, I just really want to thank you for staying to the end of the video, even though I did kind of bait you a little bit with that subscription bit earlier. I'm doing my best to create consistent quality content for y'all to enjoy, and with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later!